Chair, I just wanted to respond to the issues that my colleague, the Honourable Pete Hodgson, raised about the title, very specifically about the title, which is the question of the fact that it is called the Royal Society of New Zealand Amendment Act with a small t on the "the". That being that it is not, as Mr Hodgson pointed out, filed under T, but rather filed under R. Now, Mr Hodgson's correct that certainly in all my dealings with the Royal Society, the very much has a capital T. However, the reason why I don't believe an amendment here would be appropriate is that in fact, the predecessor legislation covering the Royal Society, both the 1965 Act and the 1997 Act, both are filed under R, and we would be stepping outside the process that was put forward by both of those acts to make it the Royal Society Act, with the T being the key letter rather than the R. The other argument against making an amendment, as Mr Hodgson would suggest, is contained within the standing orders. In particular, I would refer to Appendix C of the standing orders, which runs through the procedures for private bills. The clerk's office are extremely helpful, I might say, in those of us who end up sponsoring private bills, and both what's in the standing orders and also in McGee as well covers the responsibilities of a member sponsoring a bill, and in actual fact it is in fact the role of the organisation on whose behalf I take the bill what it's called. The title is in fact in their prerogative, and while we are making potentially some amendments here, they are ones that have been done in close consultation with the Royal Society, and therefore I would be very reluctant to take up Mr Hodgson's kind offer of amending this. But I do understand what drove him to make that contribution on the title clause, because I think in common parlance it is the Royal Society. It's actually part of its integrity, it's part of its mana, to coin a word, that it is called the Royal Society. But legislation, both the 1965 and 1997 Acts, are filed under R, and while I very much respect my colleague Mr Hodgson's knowledge of this topic, I don't think I'll be taking him up on the offer of that amendment. Thank you, Mr Chair.